Yo, what's up guys? So today I'm going to be teaching you guys the movement tips and the movement tech that I like to incorporate in my gameplay and the things that I use on a daily basis. Starting off with the thing that I think is the most important to learn and will help you and will change your gameplay drastically is tap strafing. So tap strafing is changing the movement of your direction without losing your momentum. So a normal turn would look like this. You can't really make any sharp turns in Apex, right? You kind of just flop there and float around. With tap strafing, you can make very swift movements, even if you're not sliding, even just running. So tap strafing can be used to either get away from your opponents, say they're chasing you, and you need to make it around a narrow corner. You can. Another way is just when you're fighting somebody, just move around. And they probably won't expect it. But once you learn the later tech also that we're going to be talking about, you can also incorporate tap strafing into that. So like the wall bounce, you can incorporate tap strafing as well as the super gliding. But for now, we're going to talk about tap strafing. So with tap strafing, you're going to be running forward and running, jumping, and then turning at the same time. So very important thing is that my keybinds for tap strafing is I have my move forward keybind on W, so I can still use that, but it's also on mouse wheel up. In tap strafing, you want to scroll wheel up at the same time as you're jumping. So like this. You can see it's moving me forward because I'm holding no movement key. So of course it's going to move me forward. And then the same time as you're doing this, you want to hold the key down in which direction you want to go. So if you want to tap strafe to the right, you should be pressing these keys while also moving your mouse. So it's 3 keys and movement of your mouse. And same if you want to go to the left side. 3 movement keys plus your mouse. That is the simplest explanation of tap strafing. And we all know how to slide jump, right? When running, we all should be doing this slide jump. And then after that, you want to incorporate your tap strafing, what you just learned. So you're gonna slide jump and then your movement keys. And as you can see, as I'm doing this, all my other fingers are off all my movement keys in the directions I don't want to go. So if I want to go left, I'm only gonna be holding down A. A little bit difficult to understand, but you will have to hop in the range and just practice it until you get it down. Repetitiveness is super important. Another movement mechanic that you can learn that is fun and can make your gameplay look a little bit more flashy when you're fighting people is wall bouncing. Essentially, wall bouncing is running up to the wall, jumping on it, and bouncing off of it. So you probably see some people doing that sometimes like this. And it can look really cool, especially if you have a weapon out, say there's an enemy and you can beam the enemy, right? Looks pretty cool. So all it is running up and is mantling the wall like this, and then you essentially jump off, but fast. So if you want to practice running into the wall head first and bouncing off of it, that can be helpful. And the way to do that is kind of in the same fashion as tap strafing. You want to let go of all of your movement keys except one. So when practice this, run head on, jump, and then jump off. So for wall bouncing, I have my scroll wheel bound to jump. And I think that's the easiest way to wall bounce. I mean, you could do it with spacebar, but it doesn't really feel as natural. So you walk up to the wall, you run, half mantle, and bounce off. As you can see, the second I hit that wall, all of my fingers came off my movement keys. No fingers. It's just the run, jump, jump again with my scroll wheel. My scroll wheel jump is going to be the one that bounces me off, which is why it makes this a lot easier, especially on timing. So I'm really just running into it and scroll wheeling down the second I hit it. Then you guys ask me, how do I turn around? How do I not run face into it and just backwards? This is the same trick and idea of tap strafing again. So basically you just want to hit the wall, bounce off of it, and then turn. You don't have to run and directly just keep your back towards, say your enemy's here.
Contact with hostile.
You can run, and then bounce off and turn around. But there's also another way. If you want to incorporate a shift slide jump wall bounce, which is what most people do, you'll see most people run up, wall bounce off of it, and then turn this way. Or wall bounce, whatever, turn this way. And the way to do that is to hold down only one movement key, like we talked about earlier. Whichever direction, if you want to go left, you're going to hold down A. If you want to go right, you're going to hold down D, right? See? Pretty simple. Same thing over here. And then if we want to go back to the left, we hold A. The most important part is making sure all of your fingers are off your movement keys the second you hit here, until you want to turn. When you want to incorporate your turns, your fingers should be only clicking one movement key. Okay, that was horrible. like that. The third thing that I like to incorporate into my gameplay sometimes is super gliding. Woo, super gliding. We love super gliding. Woo. It's very difficult. It's basically the act of boosting yourself off after a mantle. So instead of mantling like this or mantling like this, all right, let's hope I get this on the first try. There we go. You mantle like that. And see, obviously you go much further than mantling like this, or even mantling and jumping. That is a super glide. Takes a couple tries. Even the people who have practiced it still mess it up. This isn't something that comes quickly. You only need to sit in the firing range and practice it over and over and over again until you get comfortable with the timing. So basically what's happening here on my keyboard and my mouse is that I'm walking up to a surface that can be mantled. It can be something as tall as this. It can be something as small as this. Or I guess like this. You walk up to it, you're gonna mantle it. We're going to time our jump keys, our jump and crouch. So for my keybinds, for my super gliding, I have crouch toggle on V, just because I feel more comfortable pressing those two buttons together, while also my jump is space. So you're gonna mantle it and get the timing right. It's gonna take practice. I can't really explain the timing, but you can watch for yourself. So you're gonna mantle, press these two at the same time, and let's see how it goes. Yep, horrible. And you can release all movement keys too. You can still hold your W down because you're just going to continue to go forward, but you can incorporate tap strafing, which would require moving all your fingers off your movement keys once again. And I tap strafe out of it. So you can incorporate this in like different ways just to throw your enemy off again. It's pretty difficult to do and you don't see tons of people doing it, but it's cool to learn if you want to. And then once you get really good at it, you can incorporate super glide tap strafing to the side or super glide tap strafing a different direction so you don't only go forward. That was a mini one. Something like that. But you gotta remember with super glides, anytime you do it from a different height level, the timing will change just a little bit. So I'm gonna be pressing it sooner than when I would here. But you can still do it as long as you can mantle something, you can do it. Well, I hope you guys learned a lot from my video, and hopefully you can start incorporating some movement to your gameplay as well. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Grace says peace out. Girl Scout.